stop beating yourself up, man. Stop beating yourself up for not having a six pack. I'm telling you, so many people are overweight, so many people are obese. And there's going to be a lot of people that might think, yeah, just because other people don't have great physiques doesn't mean that you shouldn't pursue one as well. But I don't say no to that. You should pursue your potential. But at the same time, beating yourself up every single day just because you don't get the results that you want to get, it's stupid. Stupid, right? Because imagine your weight never stays the same. Okay, even if you do a lot, like if you're stressed, even like a little bit, and your body feels like you're in a survival situation, you're in survival mode, it will latch onto water weight. So no matter how much steps you do, no matter how much like you do 15k steps, 20k steps every single day, you'll still have water weight on you. So every single day when you weigh yourself daily, it's not going to be the correct weight all the time. Okay, there will always be a little bit more than it actually is. So that will kind of like mess with your head if you keep thinking like that. Oh, like results matter so much more than you think. They truly don't. Okay, what matters in the long run is you showing up every single day, because you making yourself love the journey is so much more important than you just trying to aim for the results, because the results will change when you get the results. Okay, when you get to 10% body fat, now you'd want to get a fighter physique, or you want to look like you'd want like more muscle because now you're ripped, but you feel like I don't have enough muscle yet. Your goals will keep changing. The goalpost will keep moving further on and on and on. And that's why the results will never fulfill you. Only the actions and the repetitions and the consistency will. Like even my religion teach me this, right? It's not about praying like 5 times in one day. It's about praying every single day for the rest of your life. It's all about repetition, because that's the thing that's needed in order to change your mind in the long run. Okay, it's neuroplasticity. It's repetition will change how you think, will change how you behave, will change everything in your life. It's all about repetition. The other day I watched a reel from a guy who took this stone that was sharp and he kicked it every single day for 90 days, and after 90 days it was like a sphere. Repetitions will change everything in your life. It's all about repeating the same actions every single day, but most people cannot do that because their ego is too big. They think too highly of themselves. They think they know more than other people. They try to follow their own advice. They try to follow their own gut feeling, even though their gut feeling hasn't evolved enough for them to follow it. Okay, your gut feeling can also be wrong. But most of the time, your body will let you know after a few weeks of doing a lot of steps every single day, after being in a high calorie deficit. Your body will let you know. You'll feel a lot more hunger. You're going to be more stressed. You're going to have more tendencies to binge eat. So what does that tell you? That tells you that you should stop doing so much, start doing a little bit, and then increase it over time. Start prioritizing a flow state inside of your entire day as a routine where you're just automatically doing everything without even convincing yourself to show up. It's just normal to you. You just show up. You just magically do it. It's because this is what you've built yourself to do every single day, by repeating the same actions every single day, by eating the same foods every single day, by doing the exact amount of same steps every single day, by taking the same routes every single day, by cooking the same meals in the same sequence, by going to the gym and from this one route that you go, by listening to the exact same music, even though when it gets boring. That's how you change your brain. That's how you make yourself consistent. That's how you make this automatic for yourself every single day. But most people cannot do that, because the only and true muscle that you train inside of fat loss is actually a psychological transformation, and the only muscle that you're trying to build here is the patience muscle. You're training yourself to become more patient, because that's what you're not right now. Right now, you aren't really Like, you're overweight, but what's worse than being overweight is thinking like a fat person. It's the fat mentality. Okay, it's what I call is the fat mentality, is where you want things quick. You can be fit and you can destroy your body or your life by having the fat mindset. Gambling, peptides, following lust, going into those kind of territories. Everybody can fall into these things when they're not patient enough, when they don't understand that the result that you want will come in a few years if you stay consistent every single day. But nobody wants the results in a few years. Everybody wants the results in a few months. It's like that quote from Tony Robbins where this guy, he wants to end himself. And Tony Robbins takes away his focus from doing that big stupid thing to, is it the red shoes? Focusing on the present moment, because that's where you are right now. But he tells him, people always under expect how much they can do in a few decades and over expect how much they can do in 2 to 3 months. That's a summary of all of the mistakes that you can make within fat loss, is thinking that you can get the physique in a few months. The people who get the physique in a few months, some people can do it. Some people are just made like that. Some people are more disciplined than me and you. But the fact that you're watching this video and you've probably related to a lot of the points that I've made, and you've probably struggled with binge eating and consistency and things like that, you're probably not that kind of person. And I am not as well. And there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of the population isn't like that. And I'm not encouraging you to not pursue your potential by saying that. But your exact kind of mindset where you're thinking, I'm special, I'm better than other people, that's the exact mindset that leads you to thinking that I am so special, fat loss isn't for me. You thinking that, I am so special, I'm going to get this result faster, is the exact equivalent of when you fail, you'll get doubtful thoughts of, fat loss isn't for me, it's my genetics, it's my special thing that I have, it's the routine that I have, it's the life that I have, it's the parents that I have, it's the meals that they cook for me that's so wrong, it's the oil that they use inside of the meals, it's they keep asking me questions of what they want to cook for me, is that I don't have time to cook, is that I don't have the time to do these things. It's always those kind of excuses that people take on. I've been doing this shit for 2 years now. I'm still not shredded. You know why? Because of all these mistakes that I've made. I've constantly thought that I'm the special person that needs the special routine and needs these special kind of metrics to be hit every single day in order to get the special result, the special physique, when it's much more simpler than that. We always try to overcomplicate simple things, and we try to simplify overcomplicated things, which in this case is the simple thing is the workout routine. The simple thing is the steps. The simple thing is the food and the calorie deficit and all that shit. The physical things are the simple things. But the complicated things right now are your thoughts. Why do you feel insecure about your physique? Why do you feel insecure about your physique? What is making you feel insecure about your physique? Why do you tend to go in extremes or act in extremes whenever you get insulted or you get triggered by something that reminds you of the physique that you have? When you look at your belly rolls, why does that make you feel shit about yourself? You know what I mean? Because you can be like this, okay? You could be fat whilst being on a fat loss journey and still not hate yourself. You understand that's a reality, that's true, right? There's people who are healthy, they prioritize their mental health. They don't have all these shitty limiting beliefs and doubtful thoughts about themselves, and they feel doubt here and there, but at the same time, they don't hate themselves for it. They don't bring themselves down for it. They don't try to put their head into dirt and try to belittle themselves for failing a routine. Because they understand that they're more than a routine. They're more than this fat loss journey. Their potential is higher. You could say I'm wrong because I said those things, but the truth still stands, okay? I'm telling you, if you hate yourself right now for being overweight, you're gonna hate yourself when you get a six pack, for not having enough muscle, for not having enough veins on your abs, on your shoulders and chest, whatever, forearms. You're still gonna look at yourself in the mirror and hate yourself, even after you get the dream physique that you want. Because how you think and act right now is exactly how you're gonna think and act when you get the result that you want, because results are temporary. You just get that spike, that dopamine hit, and then it's gonna go away and you're gonna go back to normal. After like a few months of having that physique, you're gonna feel normal again. The only things, okay, after losing 32 pounds, after going from 183 to 151, two things changed in my life. I just got a few compliments from a few people where they said, oh, you've lost weight, look at your like face, it has changed. And second was, you just feel a tiny bit better when you look at yourself in the mirror. And that's still temporary. You smile a little bit more, but you could do it right now. Right now, when you just haven't lost the weight, you could look at yourself, you could smile, and you could say, I'm gonna lose the weight, but I'm not gonna hate myself for it right now. I'm not gonna be emotionally attached to this journey to that level where I bring myself down just because of my weight, where I bring myself down just because the scale showed me a different weight, then a few numbers changed. It's just a few numbers. Why do you bring shame into your head every single day? Make yourself feel guilty about this. You know that those are like the lowest vibrations you could ever be on. You've ever seen people that, like, this is how I would act, okay? Back in the day, I would count the calories so much, I would stress about the calories so much that my family would like hate me for it, because they were eating dinner and I would be obsessing over the calories. Mom, how much oil did you put inside of this? How much grams is this? Blah, blah, blah. Like, I still do that sometimes here and there. I'm not perfect, but I do it more, like less. I meant to say less than before. And it significantly improved my life because I'm not stressing about it as much as I was like even a few weeks ago. Like, this is something that you have to like go into battle with every single day. Every single day you have to remind yourself that consistency is king, that you have to stick to the same plan that you're following right now. And it's so boring. It's going to become so boring in a few days. You're going to have so many doubtful thoughts of ending this journey, of not continuing, of like going on this different plan, starting this different diet, because you hear so many opinions on social media from so many people who have so many, like, much greater physiques than you do, than I do, and they're constantly going to try to sell you this new opportunity of this is better, this is better, this is better, but at the end of the day, bro, it still stands. Okay? The plan that you create for yourself, where you enjoy yourself the most, where you don't think about it enough to convince yourself to show up every single day, that's the plan that you're going to be most consistent on, because that's the plan where the challenge level meets your current skill level. Your current skill level needs to match the challenge level, and for you to find that, you have to keep experimenting with the steps, keep experimenting with the calories, keep experimenting with how many workouts you do per week, what kind of workouts and exercises you like to do. And this is the boring shit that most people don't try to do, because it's painful to find that metric. You're going to fail in the beginning. You're going to do more steps than you like because your ego's still high, right? You think you know more than other people, even though you've watched like 5 videos about this, 5 YouTube videos. But this is the easy part in the beginning, okay? Once you do this, it's going to become much more easier than this. But the hard part is going to be just waking up every single day and ignoring those thoughts of changing the plan. That's the hard part. The hardest part inside of this fat loss journey is just that. Because some nights, those kind of thoughts are going to creep up. when you're going to be at your weakest mentality, when those doubtful thoughts just like bring up, and the people inside of your life, they're calling you out because you just like, even though you're supposed to be the guy who's supposed to be on this fat loss journey, you still like failed here and there. Maybe the people in your life, your relatives, like the people you stay with, your partner maybe calls you out, says, "Oh, why are you eating that like protein pudding?" Because they don't understand shit about fitness. They don't understand that it's not unhealthy. You're counting your calories. You're having a snack at the end of the day. They look at that and they'll try to mess with you. They'll try to test your patience subconsciously, just to see if you're strong enough or not. I know it sounds dumb and stupid, but it's just how like we're wired to be, man. I'm like, most people, they don't even know they're doing this, but they'll just subconsciously try to like mess with you. You know what I mean? Without even knowing about it, because they don't understand it or see the world through your lens, or don't have enough empathy with you, and don't understand your current situation, that you've been a binge eater, you've been a guy who struggled with this, now you're trying to do better and they're still trying to hate on you. Those people, try to ignore those people as much as you can, because if it's your life partner, bro, I'm very sorry for you. If you have a life partner who doesn't understand that you have like an eating disorder almost, I wouldn't like really label you with having a eating disorder, because that isn't good for me to have as a belief, to like victimize myself, so I have an eating disorder so I'm allowed to binge eat. But at the same time, like, people aren't gonna always understand you. So when they throw like shitty comments at you, or that you haven't changed, stuff like that, you know what I mean, it's gonna come here and there. Or, oh, why are you trying to like lose fat, try to eat with us, or you're being too disciplined and stuff like that, even though you're enjoying yourself. Even though like some people, like I enjoy eating the same meals every single day, but most people won't understand it. They don't understand it. They think, oh, I'm making myself suffer, even though it's not the case. I think I would be suffering so much more if I just eat whatever I want and feel shit. Because if you allow me to eat whatever I want, I just binge on junk food. I'm gonna be honest. If I don't have a routine, I just binge on junk food. I tend to go extreme very fast. So this entire journey for me has been just about training myself to say no to extremism. Because I fell into extremism and has completely burned me out multiple times in the past 2 years, and I've still kept going for it, even in the past few months. You know why I gained weight? Even though I went from 151 back to 162, and now I'm at like 159. I was 158 yesterday. Weight fluctuated, but I've have to constantly train myself to say no. I have to constantly say no to extremism, to going extreme, because I tend to do it very fast. Okay? There's going to be days where people are going to throw shitty comments at you, and you're going to be tested on those days to go extreme, to change the plan, to not listening to your gut feeling, which has been feeling great, by the way, because you've been consistent, you've been hitting your metrics, you've been losing the weight consistently. But at the same time, there's going to be moments where it's just going to mess with you. And those are the days that are going to be the hardest inside of this fat loss journey, okay? Stop beating yourself up for the fact that you don't have a six-pack. A lot of the population doesn't. You're going to get there. You're going to get there by the end of the year. You're going to lose 30, 40 pounds. I'm not going to give you a time frame, because it's not about the time frame. It's not about asking ChatGPT how much time it will take for you to do the steps. If you do this many steps and like this many calories, how long it's going to take. It's not about giving ChatGPT your body image and asking it to make a shredded version of yourself, and like mentally masturbating to that idea of having that physique and all of your problems being gone. It's not about those things. Somehow there's a paradox. It's not so deep, but at the same time it goes much deeper than you think. Because when it comes to the psychological side of this, it's very, very deep. But when it comes to the physical side of it, not that deep at all. Okay, your high standards is what I wrote today. Your high standards and low consistency are ruining your journey and making you a whining, sufferable person who hates himself. Stop hating yourself, okay? And I apologize for the sound of the fan, if that's been like just coming onto your ear every single like for the entirety of this video. Yeah, but peace. I'll see you in the next video, man.